devotional book that many of us are reading for Advent, called Celebrating Abundance by Walter Brueggemann, he notes that many of our Advent scripture readings are poetry. And, he says, poetry allows us to move beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond memos and commandments and legal briefs. Poetry allows us to use our imagination. Poetry isn't neat or orderly. It uses words in interesting ways, doesn't really care about punctuation and capitalization. Poetry doesn't tell us how to live our lives. Rather, it opens up possibilities about how our lives could be. And this poem that we just heard Dave read from the prophet Isaiah proposes things that are patently fantastical. The wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat. The calf and lion cub will graze together. The cow will feed with the bear. Their young will lie down together. The lion will eat hay like the ox. The baby will play next to the den of the cobra. These are things that simply do not exist in reality. Cobras and vipers are poisonous, and they would kill a baby or a toddler. Lions hunt and eat other animals, not hay. So do bears and wolves and leopards. Lambs and goats and calves and cows are not safe near them. They cannot lie down together, nor can they eat near one another. We don't generally blame animals for hunting and eating other animals. We consider it part of the circle of life, like the song in the Lion King movie, right? But Isaiah asks us to imagine a world in which the food chain, even, is completely upended, where violence isn't necessary for any of God's creation to survive. He's trying to shock us, I think, this poet-prophet. He's trying to describe outrageously impossible situations so that we can understand how outrageously impossible the good is that God wants for us. I wonder, though, is this part equally outrageously impossible? You will delight in obeying God, and you won't judge by appearances or make decisions by hearsay. You will treat poor people with fairness and uphold the rights of the land's downtrodden. I wonder, is that some kind of fantasy akin to wolves lying down with lambs? That we could just treat each other with fairness? That we could uphold the rights of the land's downtrodden? I really hope it's not. Because what Advent asks us to believe is that none of this is impossible. Advent asks us to believe that God will break into our world again. Advent asks us to believe that the world can be set right, that we can do better. I'll tell you the truth. I find that pretty hard to believe most of the time. When I read of the proposed cuts to the SNAP program that would leave nearly 700,000 people without the resources they need to buy food. I wonder, how can God break into this mess and set it right? When I see pictures of that 16-year-old child from Guatemala who died in a cage from the flu because no one cared enough to get him medical attention, I wonder, how can God break into this mess and set it right? When I read of a mass shooting at a naval base right near Florida, I wonder, how can God break into the violence, this mess, and set it right? There are so many atrocities happening all around us, and we hear about them all the time. It is really hard to imagine the realm of God that our poet, prophet Isaiah just painted for us. But Isaiah does imagine it. He says, there will be no harm, no destruction anywhere in my holy mountain, for as water fills the sea, so the land will be filled with the knowledge of God. The land will be filled with the knowledge of God. What power! If the land were filled with the knowledge of God, the land would be filled with love, because that is God's essence. Love. Love that desires the best for all creation. Love that somehow knows us individually, numbers every hair on our heads. Love that doesn't seek to control us, but stays with us as we make decisions, figure out our lives, suffer losses or setbacks. Love that would never plan hard things for us, but that dwells with us in the midst of the hard things, and maybe even helps bring about some good. In another reflection in our book this week, Brueggemann says that it is not the poem, but the old power arrangements of deathliness that are unrealistic. It's not the poem that's unrealistic. It's the old power arrangements of deathliness. Ultimately, this is true. We see it all around us. The current power arrangements are killing us. The idea that we must compete for scarce resources. The notion that simply being a human being does not grant us enough value to have enough to eat, or a place to live, or health care when we need it. The idea that it's fine for billionaires to hoard money while others go hungry because they somehow earned it. These old power arrangements of deathliness are unrealistic. And we all participate in some way or another. Many of you were here when I told a story about my student Stephen a couple of weeks ago. I told you how he died at the age of 27, but I left out an important detail. The day before Stephen died, he messaged me. He asked if there was any way I could help him out with some money. I think he asked for something like $25. I'd given him money before, but for some sinful, horrible reason this time. The teachings of the competitive, scarcity-based system that we are living in reared their ugly voices in my head. You don't want him to keep coming to you if he needs money. You don't want to enable him, whatever that means. God helps those who help themselves, which, by the way, not in the Bible. A load of crap. Living into scarcity. I told him no, in the nicest way I could. The next day, he was walking to the grocery store, or maybe to sell some things to get money for the grocery store, no one's sure. And he died. I don't know if my giving him what he asked for would have prevented his death. It was an aneurysm. It probably would have killed him eventually no matter what. But I tell you, I felt that death in my bones. Because I loved him. And I failed him in that moment. I failed him because I was maintaining some elusive notion of control over my money. Why on earth wouldn't I want him to know that if he needed money, he could come and ask me? I had some, he didn't. That's all that I needed to know. I failed Stephen because I forgot that scarcity is a lie. I failed him because I didn't trust that I could have my own needs met and help him meet his. I failed him because I allowed the old power arrangements of deathliness to usurp the reality of God's abundance. Because what is real is that there is enough. What is real is that Jesus came that we might have life and have it abundantly. What is real is that each and every human being is worthy of love and care and food and housing and health just by virtue of their existence. Amen. What is real is that you don't have to earn God's love. Amen. What is real is that this community cares for one another and our neighbors just as Jesus taught us to do. What is real is that if you are in need of love, of healing, of food, of comfort, you are in the right place. Advent asks us to turn what seems impossible into reality. And here at MCC of the Palm Beaches, that is what we excel at. Our history is one of doing impossible things. Building a church that celebrates LGBTQ+ identities. Caring for people with HIV and AIDS. Feeding people who are hungry without demanding proof of their need. Loving one another and all who come through our doors, no matter how different they may be from us. This is who we are, MCC of the Palm Beaches. This is who we are. So may we continue to subvert those old power arrangements of deathliness and allow that spirit of love and abundance to permeate our souls this Advent and this Christmas.